In this video, I'll be showing you 9 assistants that you need to have in your agency. My name is Leo. I'm the CEO and founder of Fluxomate, an operation agency that helps agency owners all over the world set up skill-proof systems. With Fluxomate, as part of our agency accelerator program, we literally have a whole stage dedicated to AI integration. And a massive part of that is these AI assistants, which make everyone's lives easier and much more efficient. I'm going to show you some of the most common examples of different assistants we build for our partners as part of our program, so you can get a clear insight on how powerful integrating something like this within your agency actually looks like. We'll be going over what assistants are, a secret tip to actually create them 10 times faster and better, 3 different types of AI assistants, with a total of 9 different examples of AI assistants that you can set up within your agency by the end of this video. This is extremely relevant, especially with the new release of the rapid response GPT-4 as part of OpenAI's spring update. So we're ready to get blown away from a random guy on YouTube with an orange hoodie. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to touch on is what actually is an assistant. 30 years ago, you had everyone in office, and the big boss at the very, very top, if he was lucky enough, he'd have a young assistant, which basically took all his calls, booked his meetings, and just did all of those repetitive tasks for him. Now, this was only for the big bosses within the company, but it made sense. They were producing a lot of money for the company, so the company wanted to maximize their efficiency or their time as much as they possibly could, which is why they started employing these assistants to take care of stuff like booking calls, scheduling meetings, arranging lunches, everything. The key thing was to get rid of those low leverage tasks, hand them over to someone else so the actual bosses or the high ranking executives can focus on doing the work that they're actually good at. Fast forward to 2024, everyone's working from home, but the average worker can still benefit from having these assistants, and not just one. You can have 10 different assistants that are specialists in individual things and are available 24/7 to actually assist any one of your team members with any of the problems they may have. The best news about this is that you don't have to spend millions on a year on payroll for providing these assistants to each one of your team members. This is exceptionally relevant right now, like I said in the introduction, because of the release of the new spring update. If you don't even know what that is, I've literally released a whole 15-minute video going over the most important parts of the spring update. Just a quick summary: they released a new model, which is GPT-4o, and the key thing about this new model is a rapid responses. So they showed a couple demo videos where you can literally talk to the AI, and it literally responds in 350 milliseconds, which is actually the same time it takes the human to respond. So it's just 10 times more realistic. So using that model along with the assistants that will be created in this video is extremely powerful, and a way that you can actually maximize the efficiency of every single team member within your agency. In terms of assistants and GPTs, they're literally the exact same thing. The only difference that assistants will live on a back end, so in different automations, and GPTs just live on ChatGPT. Throughout this video, we're going to be using a mixture of both, and for every single assistant that I'll show you, you can build the same thing within a GPT, and for every single GPT that I'll show you, you can build the exact same thing within an assistant. They're interchangeable. It's just so hosted on different platforms. So guys, now that we have an understanding of what assistants are, the difference between assistants and GPTs, I want to show you a quick secret on how you can actually create these assistants. The key thing I just said is that GPTs and assistants are very, very similar. In fact, they're the exact same thing, just hosted on different platforms. So we can apply that exact same thing in, head over to ChatGPT and use the GPT maker to first make a GPT. Then we're going to copy all the instructions that ChatGPT automatically sets for that assistant and just copy and paste it in OpenAI to use that as the prompt for our assistant. I'll show you guys a quick example. So once you're in ChatGPT, you want to go to create a new assistant. I'm not sure if this is available for everyone on the free plan, but let's assume you're on a plus plan. I'm going to move myself over here, and I'm just going to make a random assistant. It doesn't really matter what you make. So for this example, I'm going to put a fashion assistant. Super, super simple, guys. As you can see, it's going to ask me some questions, and then from all of those questions, it's going to put together a specific prompt for that GPT. So guys, while that was loading, I've just opened up OpenAI, which is basically just the back end of ChatGPT. And if you head over to this product section right here, we're going to go to API login, and we want to actually log into the API platform, which is where we're going to create our assistants throughout this whole video. So you get 2 options, ChatGPT or API. We're going to go over to API, and then we're going to go over to this left-hand side here. We're going to go to assistants, and we're just going to create a new assistant. For this example, we're going to call it a fashion assistant. Once again, guys, this is just an example. This is not one of the 9 examples we're going to be going over in a second. I just want to show you an example of how to actually create these assistants. So throughout the whole video, you actually have an understanding of how to do it. So I'm just going to put fashion assistant, and if we head back over to ChatGPT, hopefully by now it's created the assistant. So it seems to be stuck, so I'm just going to reload this. And if you open this up, you can see it's already added some simple instructions. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy these instructions. And then within the assistant tab, in the instructions, I'm literally just going to paste this. And that's how you can create these assistants 10 times faster. Sometimes making these prompts, it takes a bit of long time. And this is by no means perfect. Don't get me wrong. If we were to use a proper assistant like the ones I'm going to show you, we definitely had to touch this up a bit more. But it's a great starting point and also prevents you from starting from zero. Now that you have this secret hack on how to actually create these assistants 10 times easier, let's go over the 3 different forms of assistants that we're going to be covering in this video. So the way we split it, there's always 3 different forms. We have chatters, automation assistants, and function assistants. Chatters are basically conversational assistants. Now this is probably what you're more used to. This is something like ChatGPT, where you can literally conversate with, go back and forth and ask questions about a specific thing. Automation assistants are assistants that we use within automations. A key part of what I'm about to show you today is the drastic difference that you can actually get by using assistants versus just random prompts within your automations. It gives completely different results in a better way, obviously. And then we have function assistants. Now, these are assistants that can be used within automations and can also be used within chatters. But the key thing about them is that they can complete specific actions. As you see, guys, I've got different examples for each one of these 3 different types. Let's get started with the chatters, which are the conversational assistants that you go back and forth with. First example is a sales objection assistant. I have a whole video on how to actually create this as a GPT. I want to show you the importance of this. Let's say you onboard a new sales guy. He's a noob. He's got 0 experience. You don't want him contacting and messing up the sales call with the leads that you've paid good money for. So instead of giving him real calls, you can just hand him the GPT so he can actually practice his sales calls. Or let's say you have some seasoned sales rep that need to practice every single morning to get in the right mood for their sales calls. You'd hand over this GPT first thing in the morning so they can practice objections and keep on holding their position at the very, very top of the ladder within your sales funnel. In this example, the probably easiest way to do this is as a GPT, solely because you can actually talk to the AI using the ChatGPT app on your phone, especially with the new GPT 4.0 model. Is completely conversational and you can literally go back and forth with the AI without any interruptions. I'll play a quick clip of what this looked like 4 months ago, just to give you an idea on how the sales bot works. And from that, I'll also play a clip of the new GPT and how conversational it is, just to see you guys the difference and how you can actually apply this within your agency. That's the end of the presentation. Now we're going to start the roleplay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do have a few questions. First, regarding the pricing structure, it seems a bit high compared to some of your competitors. Can you explain what justifies this cost difference? Also, I'm curious about the automation experience. How user-friendly is your system for someone who isn't very tech-savvy? And lastly, do you have any case studies or past results that demonstrate the effectiveness of your solution?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there, it's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an open AI hoodie. Nice choice. What's up with that ceiling, though? Are you in a cool industrial style office or something?
Well, can you take a guess at what I might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup with those lights, tripods, and possibly a mic. It seems like you might be gearing up to shoot a video or maybe even a live stream.
Yeah. In fact, we've got a new announcement to make.
That's exciting. Announcements are always a big deal. Judging by the setup, it looks like it's going to be quite the professional production. Is this announcement related to OpenAI, perhaps?
Now, like I said, we're going to be hosting this not as an assistant, but as a GPT within ChatGPT. So you want to go over to your ChatGPT account, head over to the Explore GPT section, and then you want to put Create New GPT. And then you want to follow the exact same instructions I showed you at the start. You just basically want to go back and forth with the GPT builder and say all of the relevant stuff. So, for example, you're building a sales assistant that's built to help your sales team handle objections, give some information about your product, what they actually do, the type of customers you have. The more information you give it, the better. The key thing here is that once you've created building it, you want to scroll down here, and for knowledge, you want to upload a file. Now, the easiest way to do this is just to create a simple Google document outlining each objection or some of your most common objections. Then once you've done that, you want to go to File, Download, and then export it as a PDF. Then you want to go back to ChatGPT in the Upload File section and just upload that file. Just like that, guys. And now, once you start using this bot, especially on the talking mode, like I showed you in a previous demonstration, you'll see it'll be asking you those specific objections. You can kind of just drill through them and test your response in real time, which is amazing. Like I said, you can either use this for new people trying to get experience in sales that you don't want to actually waste on sales call, or even your seasoned sales rep just to get some practice in the morning to get them in the right mood to actually hop on these calls and close as many people as possible for your agency. Second example I want to go over is a SOP assistant. Now, this would be very, very simple. You'd basically want to create another Google document which outlines every single SOP that you have within your agency. Once you put together all of those SOPs in one centralized document, you want to export it as a PDF exactly like I did previously. And this time, we're actually going to create an assistant rather than a GPT. So you can do the exact same thing I showed you to start, creating the GPT first and then copy and pasting the assistant. And then we're going to go with the OpenAI, head over to the assistant section. I'm going to call this the SOP assistant, copy and paste the instructions, and then we'll scroll down to file search where you can actually upload your file. Now, this is extremely useful because your team won't have to rely on you or an admin to get information if they're ever confused about any of the different standard operating procedures that you have in your agency. And obviously, this avoids any delays using this SOP assistant. I would suggest having a Slack channel called SOP Assistant and actually hosting this on Slack. If you want to find out how you can actually connect your assistant to Slack, you can check out this video in the top right hand corner. It's a super, super simple automation and it allows you to actually host your assistants within your Slack channel. So if anyone on your team actually needs any help, they can just quickly send a Slack message to that channel about that specific SOP. You can get a detailed response, avoiding any delays that you may have waiting for an admin or even you to respond to that message. And the third example, which is probably one of my favorites and one that I still use every single day, is the IT expert. Previously, you'd have to have someone on a 40K a year salary to actually be your IT expert, which, as you can imagine, is extremely expensive and nowadays is completely unnecessary. I'm going to show you how you can actually do that for free. All we're going to do is very, very simple. For each one of the key softwares I use in your agency, so for example, I don't know, Google Sheets, Zapier, or Go High Level, you're going to make an assistant. And these assistants are going to be specialists in that specific subject. So for example, you'd have a Google Sheets assistant that knows everything about Google Sheet formulas. And I'll show you an example of what this looks like because I actually have this as a GPT. This is my spreadsheet expert. Feel free to copy this prompt and paste it as an assistant. I still use this every single day to create different formulas within Google Sheets, which we use for a lot of our day-to-day work. Well, I'll suggest setting up the exact same thing for every single software that I use. So for example, Google Sheets, Zapier, Go High Level, create one assistant for each one of them, then add them all to an IT channel. And whenever you have any issues with that software, all you have to do is add that assistant within the channel, send a message, and have that specific assistant respond to it based on a specific app. Once again, guys, this doesn't have to specifically be in Slack. You can also do this as a GPT, as an assistant, on your phone, even as a chatbot within your CRM. It doesn't really matter. Hosting is the smallest of your problems. But the key thing here is that we're going to use these different assistants to help us with any IT issues that we may have. And trust me, guys, these are a real game changer. Like I said, I probably use the Google Sheets one mostly every single day. And it saves me a lot of time having to search on Google or even just go into a generic ChatGPT. Because if you have an assistant that's a specific way, knows how to respond to you, and knows specifically what you're looking for, which in this example will be Google Sheets, it gives you much better responses, which are more relevant and more useful and help you get through any of the problems that you may be having or experiencing so much quicker. So those are the three chatting examples. Like I said, guys, these are extremely powerful assistants. I don't believe there's a single partner that we've signed on that where we haven't set up one of these assistants as part of our agency accelerator program. They're extremely powerful. I can check the records, but I'm 90% sure that at least one of these is being used daily within one of our partners' agencies. Now that we've covered chatters, the next thing I want to do is cover automation assistants. You're probably wondering, why do I need to use assistant within my automations? Why can't I just use them as simple prompts that I type in within automation? And honestly, I thought the exact same thing. But recently, I recorded a video going over how you can actually connect your assistants to make.com. And I did a quick test in that video. I tested the level of response that you get from a normal prompt and a specific assistant as part of automation. And I'll put the responses down on the screen. This is the assistant response, and this is the response from a general AI model with the exact same question. As you can tell, it's completely different. This is way more in depth, specific to the actual question, and this is just a general answer. So ever since that video, I've completely changed everything and I've started using these assistants as part of every single one of my automations. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different examples of how you can actually do this. Starting off with lead magnet assistants. Now you can see the book in the background. I'm a massive fan of lead magnets. And if you don't know what lead magnet is, you need to check out this book by Alex Hormozy. It's an amazing book and really, really breaks down how you can create a perfect lead magnet for your agency. They're extremely powerful. The whole purpose of them is to automatically convert your leads to excited prospects. And you do that in a bunch of different ways. Once again, check out the book, guys. Load of different types of lead magnets, and they can take a lot of different forms. But how we're going to be using it, we're going to take this assistant, provide value to your leads automatically. And the key thing here is that we're going to be using assistant. So we're going to get responses that are much better. And what I mean by that is that we're going to give them responses that they can't just search on GPT. Using an assistant, you can upload a PDF with your specific offer, your processes, the secret methods that you may have to actually get results, and all the different things you've learned from your expertise in the field, and upload them to a single PDF with all that information. Now, when the assistant gives any sort of value with a lead magnet automatically, rather than giving it a generic response that anyone can get from ChatGPT, it bases it off your own experience, your offer, your processes, which is something that your leads are interested in if they're actually looking to work with you. Because at the end of the day, they're looking to work with you, not ChatGPT. So show them your secret methods is an easy way to actually convert them to an interested and actually engaged prospect. I literally have 2 YouTube videos going over how you can actually set this up and how to create these sort of automated lead magnets to provide value to your leads before you even hop on a call. Like I said, guys, they're an extremely powerful tool. So if you don't have this already set up in your agency, I'd recommend setting it up. If you want to see a real example of our lead magnet, you can check out the first link in the description. You can see all you do is fill out a short 5-minute form and you get your onboarding process customized based on your pain points, your client journey optimized based on your pain points, and 5 different automations with step-by-step guide on how you can actually set them up once again based on your specific pain points. It's an extremely powerful tool, an example of a really, really good automated lead magnet. Next example I want to go over is the content assistant. Now, if you're not creating content in 2024, I don't know what you're doing. It's one of the key things that you actually need to do nowadays. And if you can't tell, we're investing a lot of money and time in creating these YouTube videos for you guys, giving as much value as possible. A key part of what we do at Fluxomate is YouTube videos, and a lot of that is writing scripts. Now, these videos aren't exactly scripted, but I like to have a general plan and at least script the introduction to make it easy for my editors to actually edit the beginning bit that you always see. And before, I was doing all of this manually. I'd think of the idea, I'd set up a general plan, and then I'd write the introduction completely by hand. And don't get me wrong, it was working, but I took a lot of time for no reason. So instead, I created an assistant. Now, to do this, I just create a PDF that has all of the past introduction scripts and the relevant video topics for that script, and put it all in one PDF. I then downloaded it like I showed you earlier. I'd embedded it within an assistant. Now within my content system within Notion, every single time I change one of the status of the video to ready for edit, it automatically creates a script based on all of my past scripts and the video topics for that video and creates a general introduction for the script. Now, is it perfect? No, 100% not. But it's definitely better than starting from zero and saves me a lot. At the rate we're currently going, we're making about 3 YouTube videos a day. Previously, it probably take me an hour for each video in terms of the planning, the writing, and getting it ready for the editor without even recording, guys, just the actual script writing. And now it probably takes me about 20 minutes. So it's a massive game changer and saves me a lot of time. And the only reason I'm actually able to do that is because I've got a specific assistant that knows my specific style of videos, how I say certain things, how I introduce the videos. You can use that to create a good initial model of that script. But if you're going to use this, it doesn't have to be for YouTube videos. You can use the exact same thing for TikToks, newsletters. You get the idea. The whole purpose of this is you can set up an assistant to have that initial copy ready for you. So when you want to start, is you're not starting from zero. You have a template that you can basically go off. But that template is not a generic message. It's something that is actually not that bad. And the third example for the automation assistant is a data analyst. Now, here you set up an automation where once a month, it go over your client's results, find out what's good and bad, and then come up with an action plan. To make this work, you'd have to upload a PDF with all your general KPIs for your clients, processes, and all of your previous results that you have in the past. So it can actually analyze the client's results and see what's working and what's not working, and then generate an action plan on how you can actually do this. Now, this is part of a much larger automation. It is an essential step. And if you want to see more information on how you can actually create the perfect feedback loop, I've also recorded a whole video on that. So feel free to check out the video in the top right hand corner for more information. The whole key here is just to maximize client success, and having this automation and the assistant to automatically take in your client's data from whichever software you're using, analyze it, come up with an action plan on how you can actually improve the assistant, will definitely improve your client success and will help you stay on top of any problems that may be occurring within your agency. Because, at scale, you're dealing with a lot of clients. You don't want to slack off on anyone because that's how you start losing people. One of the most beautiful things about owning the agency is that long-term relationships you actually get to build with your clients. But as you guys know, it's actually one of the hardest things to maintain. So at scale, we need to set up different automations like this, not to automate your client success, but to give you all the tools necessary so you can continue fulfilling your clients at a good level without ruining your service delivery. So guys, those are the 3 examples of the automation assistants. If there's one thing you take away from this video is to use assistants within your automations rather than generic prompts that you type in. Because like I showed you in this example right here, it's a complete game changer. If you're not doing this, you're missing out on much better responses. And guys, the last type of assistant I want to talk about is functions. Now, like I said in the introduction, these are basically assistants that actually do things. Now, you can integrate this within different automation assistants or even different chatting assistants. The key thing here is that they actually follow up on the things you tell them to and actually do a certain action. Now, this is a very, very simple video. And in reality, to actually set this up properly, you do need some sort of coding. So I'm not going to go over how to actually create them in this video. I'm just going to give you different examples of what you can actually use. But if you want a whole video going over how you can actually create these function assistants within your agency, then leave a comment and I'll get it recorded for you guys as soon as possible. I try to keep it as simple as I possibly can within this channel, but if you do want more of the technical stuff, I'm more than happy to record it for you guys. So drop a comment, let me know, and I can go over how I can actually create these function assistants. First example is a generic example, and I'll come clean. We haven't actually set this up in any of our partners' agencies. I just want to show you the different possibilities of what this actually look like. It's a weather assistant. So very simply, you'd ask it, what's the weather in a specific location? It tells you the weather. Wow, super crazy, right? You can do this on Google, and obviously I wouldn't recommend setting up this exact assistant within your agency, but all it is an example to show you the different possibilities, how your assistant can actually interact with live data and actually respond it back to you. So for example, instead of weather, it can be stock exchanges. Instead of weather, it can be, I don't know, relevant news that are going on. Key thing here is we're connecting your assistant to the live data around the world to create a really, really powerful assistant that actually has specific knowledge on things you're looking for. Let's get to the second example, which is a bit more relevant to what you guys are doing. And like I said, this is an assistant we set up for every single one of our partners, and it's a reschedule assistant. Now, one of the things that the assistants 30 years ago used to do is reschedule appointments or schedule appointments. And this assistant does the exact same thing. So let's say you're hosting this on Slack. All you do is send a message to a specific Slack channel saying that you want to reschedule an appointment. You'd obviously share information such as when you want to reschedule it, the type of meeting it is, and the email of the participant that you're actually doing it with. And then you let the function do its magic. It will automatically run an automation or a function, depending on how you set it up, to actually reschedule that appointment for you based on all the information that you give it. Now, don't get me wrong, this only takes 3 to 5 minutes max, but it's another great example of how you can use an assistant to complete an action for you completely automatically. I'll hold my hands up right now and say I've used this every single week. I hate manually rescheduled appointments or even scheduling follow-up meetings. So having something like this makes my life a lot easier and helps me do that literally live on a call. Or if I wanted to reschedule a sales call, for example, I just send a quick message in a Slack channel. And just like that, the person on the call gets an email that their appointment has been rescheduled. Call me lazy. I like to make the most of technology, as you can imagine. And we do the exact same thing for our partners over here at Fluxomate. The last example I want to go over is a customer assistant. Now, this assistant is more on the conversational side, and I want to show you what I mean by the function. So, you can have an assistant that has all the information about your customers without the function side of things. But a key thing about that, you'd have to constantly re-upload a PDF with your updated customer information every single time you sign a new client, which isn't really useful, and it will just lead to out-of-date information. So instead, let's say I want to get information about a certain customer. I'd activate this assistant on a Slack channel, and it would access the data, run its function pattern to actually access a spreadsheet or some sort of database that you have all of your clients' information in, and then give me a response based on my question. So an example, what does it actually look like? If I wanted to have specific information about my client's results, all I will do is send a specific Slack message asking, give me the current ROI for example company one. It will then access that data, perform its function magic, and respond with a current ROI, for example, company one. Once again, this is extremely useful, especially at scale when you have a lot of clients and you need to get information fast. So rather than you having to go through a bunch of different spreadsheets, open up different analytics tool to actually get the information, you can just communicate with the assistant, go back and forth to get the clear metrics or key facts about different companies that you're working with. So for example, if you have a customer success manager, this will be an extremely useful tool for them. And it actually allows them to be able to take on more of your clients because they have this secret supercharged automation or, or a system function, I should say, to be able to collect and automatically analyze clients' data, touch of a message. So guys, those are the 9 different assistants that I feel like you need to have within your agency. Obviously, a lot of these are just examples. I've kind of skipped past them. So if you want any more information about any one of these assistants, or you just want to see a live example of me setting any one of these up, drop a comment below and I'm more than happy to record it for you guys. The key thing you have to remember from this video is that there's 3 different types of assistants. And if you're going to use any sort of automation that includes a GPT response, please use assistants because you'll get much better responses. Also, guys, like I emphasized throughout this whole video, it doesn't really matter whether you're hosting this assistant, whether it's on Slack, your CRM, even if you're using it as a GPT, it doesn't really matter. Key thing is just having them to actually save your team's time. If you provide any one of these to your customer success assistants, for examples, then they'll be able to do more work and provide your clients with a better experience because you avoid them being burnt out from handling too many clients, for example. We literally have a whole stage within our agency accelerator program on how to integrate AI within partners agencies, and assistance is a massive part of that because that they can be a role changer, especially when you have a lot of team members. I can guarantee if you show this video to your team, share it to your WhatsApp group chat, wherever you're using, and ask them if they think any of this were useful, I can almost guarantee that if they're not scared of you and if they're being honest, they'll say yes, because it is, and it can be a real game changer. Guys, if you've liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this on your YouTube feed. I can guarantee there's no one else on YouTube giving away this much value on a consistent basis and literally pulling the curtain back on the inside of what an efficient agency actually looks like at scale. If you've watched until the end, the chances are you're actually interested in having this sort of stuff within your agency. So I've got this amazing lead magnet right here, which is one of the lead magnets I actually talked about previously. And if you want access to this 20+ page document going over exactly how you can set up a skill proof agency, then all you have to do is check out the first link in the description and fill out that short form. It takes about 5 minutes to do. And from that, you'll get your onboarding process completely automated based on your pain points. You get your client journey optimized, showing you different examples of how you can actually get ready for automation. And you'll get 5 different automations, once again, based on your specific pain points with a step-by-step guide on how you can actually set them up. It's an extremely valuable lead magnet. And of course, as with everything else that we do, it's 100% free. So if you're looking to actually scale your agency one day, but you want to set up the correct foundations to do that properly, so you can actually handle more clients without ruining your clients' results or profitability, then I suggest checking this out to get a clear breakdown on how you can specifically set up a skill-proof agency based on your systems. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about anything I showed in this video, from the functions, the automation assistants, the chatting assistants, how to create an assistant, or even just the difference between an assistant and a GPT, just drop a comment below. A massive advantage you guys right now is that we're an extremely small channel. So if you leave a comment, we're 100% going to see it and give you an in-depth response on how we can actually help you out. So any questions about anything I talked about today, drop a comment below. Apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you prefer this kind of format of videos. We're testing a bunch of different things this whole month, from newsletters, TikTok content, and the YouTube content is probably the main difference that you guys are seeing. If you prefer this style of video, then please leave a comment below. With your feedback is extremely valuable. Lets us know what you guys actually prefer to see. Apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure recording this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.